It always happens at 2 a.m. It's dark, the house is quiet, and just when you find a comfortable position, just when you start drifting into that peaceful place called sleep, it hits you again. That nagging urge, the one that wakes you. At 2 a.m., sometimes twice a night, you shift the blanket off slowly, feet touch the cold floor. You make your way to the bathroom, eyes half closed, heart heavy. For many seniors, this is more than a minor annoyance. It's a silent thief, stealing deep sleep, draining energy, and quietly shaping your days with fatigue, fog, and frustration. But what if I told you it might all trace back to one simple, often overlooked mistake, a daily habit that feels innocent, but is quietly interrupting your nights every single night? Let's explore that. Not just the what, but the why. Because your sleep is sacred, and you deserve to wake up feeling whole again. When we're young, we take sleep for granted. We chase the day, we burn the candle at both ends. But after 60, something shifts. We begin to realize rest is no longer optional. It's survival, yet night after night. So many older adults find themselves stuck in a cycle. Fall asleep, wait to pee, struggle to fall back asleep, wake up drained, aching, foggy dot, and the worst part, many believe it's just part of aging, a cruel price for growing older. But that's not entirely true. Yes, aging changes our bladder. Yes, hormones shift, kidneys behave differently, muscles weaken, but the real issue is often hidden in plain sight: hydration timing. You see, many older adults are afraid of drinking enough water during the day. They fear bloating, incontinence, or having accidents in public. So what happens? They skip water all day, then suddenly drink the full glasses with dinner, or they gulp down fluids right before bed, thinking it will keep them hydrated. Through the night. Is understandable, but here's the truth: drinking most of your fluids in the evening is a recipe for nighttime bathroom trips. The body works on a rhythm. Your bladder, kidneys, and even hormone signals that suppress urine production all follow a schedule. Flooding your system late in the day throws that balance off. Your bladder fills faster, your sleep gets shorter, and your days feel heavier. It's not your age that's working against you, it's your timing. Let me tell you about Marion. She's 78, lives alone, smart, strong, and still enjoys tending her backyard roses. But for years, she struggled to sleep more than 3 hours at a time. She'd fall asleep just fine, but every single night, like clockwork, she'd wake up needing the bathroom, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times. Her days, they were harder than they had to be. Her bones ached. Her memory felt foggy. She stopped walking in the mornings, too tired. Doctors said, it's normal at your age. But one visiting nurse noticed something. Marion barely drank anything all day, then had soup, tea, and 2 glasses of water with dinner. That one changed, shifting her fluids to earlier in the day, gave her back her nights. Not perfectly, but profoundly. And Marion cried the morning she woke up, naturally. After a full 6 hours for the first time in a decade, she said, I forgot what it felt like to rest. There's power in understanding your body's rhythm, not fighting it, honoring it. Many seniors unknowingly fight their own biology, not out of carelessness, but out of fear or simply not knowing better. That's why it's not just about drinking less at night. It's about rebalancing your hydration throughout the entire day. Let's go deeper in part 2, where we'll talk about the hormones that change after 60 and how they affect nighttime urination, and more importantly, how to gently support your body instead of punishing it. Asterisk: the hormones that once protected your sleep begin to fade. Let's take a moment to go inside the body, not with fear, but with curiosity and kindness. Our bodies are beautifully designed. Even in our sleep, there are silent systems working to protect us. One of them is a hormone called vasopressin. You may not have heard of it, but if you've ever slept through the night in your youth without waking to pee, think vasopressin. This hormone tells your kidneys, slow down, we're resting now, hold the water until morning. But here's what most people don't realize: as we age, especially after 60, the body produces less vasopressin, which means your kidneys don't get the message to slow down at night. They keep making urine at the same rate. Your bladder, it hasn't gotten any bigger, so it fills and fills until it wakes you, not because it's an emergency, but because it can't hold much more. This isn't your fault. It's biology, but when you understand it, you can work with it. Now let's go back to hydration timing. If you drink the bulk of your fluids between 6 p.m. and bedtime, You're essentially pouring water into a smaller tank at a time when your body no longer slows production down. That's why seniors who drink more water earlier in the day and cut back after dinner often sleep longer and deeper. It's not magic, it's rhythm. Now let's talk about something just as important, but often overlooked. Emotions. Yes, your bladder and kidneys are physical organs, but sleep is emotional. It's where the soul goes to rest, and nothing disturbs the soul's rest like anxiety and worry. Many older adults don't just wake up from a full bladder, they wake up from fear of it. They lie in bed, already expecting it, already bracing. What if I have to get up again tonight? What if I trip? What if I can't fall back asleep? This stress alone can cause lighter sleep, making you more sensitive to even the smallest urge. Let me share a story. Arthur, age 82, lived in a small town. His wife had passed 4 years earlier. He lived alone, kept to himself, read old war books, and listened to jazz on vinyl. Every night. He was up at 1:30 a.m. sharp, not because his bladder was full, but because his fear was. He'd check the floor with his cane, turn on the nightlight, and make the careful journey down the hallway. When a young volunteer caregiver started helping him with meals and routine, she noticed something. Arthur barely drank all day. They would have coffee, soup, and a tall glass of water at dinner. She gently helped him shift his meals, cut his evening fluids in half, added a small pillow between his knees to ease his hip pain, and, most of all, reminded him that it's okay to rest. Within 2 weeks, Arthur was waking only once, and a month later, he reported sleeping through till 5 a.m. not because he fought his body, but because he finally listened to it. Aging is not a war, it's a new language, and your body is speaking in whispers. We must learn to listen to the signals, not just with science, but with compassion. Here are a few quiet shifts that make a big difference. Start hydrating earlier in the day. From breakfast until 4 p.m., limit caffeine and alcohol in the evening. Both irritate the bladder. Keep dinner light and salt in balance. Too much salt leads to water retention, which later floods the system. Begin winding down 90 minutes before bed, not just the body, but the mind too. And if you're able, elevate your legs for 30 minutes before bed. It helps shift excess fluids back into circulation before you lie down. Could the pills you trust be keeping you awake? Sometimes the very things we count on to help us live longer quietly steal the comfort of our night's. And for many seniors, that comes in the form of medications. Let's be honest, by the time you reach 65 or 70, your bathroom cabinet may hold a small pharmacy, pills for blood pressure, tablets for cholesterol, something for sleep, digestion, pain, mood, joints. Each one was prescribed to help, but not all of them help you sleep. Let's start with the most common culprit, diuretics. Doctors often prescribe them for heart issues or high blood pressure. They're called water pills, and for good reason. They make your body expel excess salt and water through urine. Now imagine taking one of those pills at 6 p.m. or after dinner. Your kidneys ramp up, your bladder fills, and just when your body wants to wind down, you're running to the bathroom. Even worse, some seniors are told to take these in the evening, not realizing the impact. No one warns them it could interrupt deep, restorative sleep. Then there's sleeping pills. Ironically, some of these can backfire. Yes, they help you fall asleep, but many shorten deep sleep stages. You fall asleep faster, but wake up more easily to even the slightest bladder signal. And over time, they can cause dependence. The body stops producing its own calming signals. Now you're not just tired, you're also chemically tethered to sleep aid after sleep aid. That's not healing, that's surviving. Antidepressants and anxiety medications are another group to watch. While they support emotional wellness, a vital part of aging, some of them stimulate the bladder or change your brain's response to sleep signals. Others might cause vivid dreams, restlessness, or light sleep that's easily disturbed. And then there are heart medications, especially beta blockers, that lower melatonin levels in your body. Melatonin is your natural sleep hormone, your body's internal sleep switch. Without enough of it, you may lie in bed feeling tired, but sleep just won't come. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. If you've ever found yourself waking to pee at night, but also take medications for heart health, blood pressure, or anxiety, you may be experiencing a side effect, not a symptom of age. And here's the powerful truth. You can talk to your doctor, not with guilt, not with hesitation. You can ask, is there a morning version of this pill? Could this be affecting my sleep? Is there a gentler alternative that's easier on my bladder? Can we adjust the timing to protect my rest? You deserve answers, and you deserve a doctor who respects your questions. Let me tell you about Rosa. She's 84, lively, funny, and sharp as ever. But she started forgetting things. She blamed her age. Then she began to snap at her daughter, something she never used to do. She didn't feel herself. Turns out, Rosa hadn't had a full night's sleep in years. Her water pill, taken every evening at 6 p.m., kept her up all night, adding a beta blocker for her heart, and melatonin production was almost zero. Once her doctor adjusted the timing of her medications, moving the water pill to morning and shifting her heart pill earlier, she began sleeping through the night again, and after just a week, she smiled at breakfast and said, "I feel like myself again." Sometimes, the smallest tweaks return the biggest blessings. Because good sleep isn't just about avoiding fatigue. It's about memory, mood, healing, even balance, physically and emotionally. When we lose sleep, we slowly lose pieces of who we are. But when we reclaim it, we feel more alive. When the body whispers, the soul should listen. By now, we've uncovered the physical causes. We've talked about hydration timing, hormonal shifts, and the hidden effects of medications. But there's one more layer, the deepest layer, the one we often hesitate to explore, the emotional side of nighttime waking. You see, the bladder is not just a vessel for liquid, it's a place of release. And sometimes, when we wake up at night, especially in the quiet, lonely hours, it's not just because of fluid. It's because our minds are holding things we haven't let go of yet. Many seniors carry unspoken grief, loss of a partner, a child who moved far away, the independence they once took for granted. These emotions don't scream, they whisper, and they often do it at night. When the world is silent, our inner voices become loud. The urge to urinate may be real, but what if it's also your heart's way of asking to let something go? Let go of fear, of regret, of the old habits that no longer serve you, and instead embrace rest, embrace healing, embrace the right to care for yourself in a deeper, wiser way. Let me tell you about Amina. She was 79 when her husband passed. They'd been married 52 years. Since then, she had slept alone, and every night, she woke up once or twice, not always to pee, but out of habit, out of sadness. She thought her body was failing her, but truly, her spirit was asking for peace. One day, her granddaughter gifted her a journal. "Write what you're thinking before you sleep," she said. Amina began doing just that, writing her worries down, her memories, her fears, her little joys. She didn't drink water after 6 p.m. She adjusted her medications in consultation with her doctor. But more importantly, she emptied her heart before lying down. Within weeks, her sleep returned, gentle, full, restful. And she said something beautiful. "I realized I was holding too much in, not just in my bladder, but in my soul. Aging is not a curse, it's a return to truth. And one truth is this: sleep is not selfish. It's not a luxury. It's the body's most sacred repair. And your nights matter just as much as your days. So, dear listener, if you find yourself waking at 2 a.m. tired, frustrated, lonely, or confused, remember this: it's not always age. Sometimes, it's a mistake you didn't know you were making, and often, it's fixable. Hydrate wisely. Speak with your doctor. Let go of emotional burdens you no longer need to carry, and above all, give yourself permission to rest. Because peaceful sleep is not just for the young, it's for the wise, the kind, the ones who've lived long enough to know that healing can happen, even in the dark. If this story moved you, share it with someone you care about.